We now know the South Whitehall Township police officer involved in this shooting is 33-year-old Jonathan Roselli. The district attorney ruled his use of deadly force against Joseph Santos was not justified. Police say the two burglars broke into the church through this window, which is now boarded up, but just around the corner, I mean literally a few steps away, is a statue of the 10 Commandments, and one reads, "You shall not steal." This is where Cosby will spend his first night behind bars, but it's his second prison stop of the day. If you walk down this block, it is just sump pump after sump pump. You can see it's pretty dark. That's because some of these houses still don't have power. And just to give you some perspective, typically at these news conferences, investigators will lay out the seized drugs for us to see. But in this case, the DA said it was too dangerous because even just coming into contact with carfentanil can kill you. Jewish people have a saying when someone dies, may their memory be a blessing. And that was really the theme of the vigil tonight. This is a python. This is just one of the dozens of snakes that were taken from the home along with the other animals. The house is surrounded, and for hours and hours now, SWAT team, Homeland Security, police officers, investigators have been trying to negotiate, trying to communicate with this man, just begging him to end it peacefully. But as we heard earlier, there's no indication that he's surrendering anytime soon. Gunfire exploding across the Tioga Nicetown section of Philadelphia as narcotics officers were serving a warrant at a home on North 15th Street.
The shooter fired multiple rounds. Officers returned fire, many of whom who had to escape through windows and doors to get from a barrage of bullets.
Philadelphia Police Commissioner Richard Ross says 6 officers were shot and others were injured while responding.
We're very concerned about, the neighborhood. We're very concerned about our police officers.
A source tells us 30 police officers fired their weapons in the exchange of gunfire with the suspect. The volatile active shooter situation quickly turned to a standoff with the suspect. 2 officers were holed up inside the home while dozens of police, SWAT, and investigators spent hours trying to negotiate with the man.
Trying to communicate to him that we want him out safely, even going as far as telling him that the officers are going to be okay and that there's nothing that we can't work through.
Meanwhile, the tense situation shut down the surrounding neighborhood, also forcing parts of Temple University into lockdown.
Fired multiple rounds, many of which that struck the SWAT truck and buildings across the street.
The sound of generators and sump pumps echoing down Washington Street in Pennsburg as people work to clean up and dry out.
They filled the basement up in less than 5 minutes.
Martin Miller rents the basement of this home. He says the room was filled with about 8 feet of water.
It was touching the tiles on the ceiling.
He says he was visiting a friend in Pottstown when the sky opened up and what should have been a 25-minute ride home turned into a nearly 5-hour commute. When he finally got home, it was too late.
I lost everything. Everything I owned was in the basement. The clothes I'm wearing are donated from friends.
His clothes and belongings replaceable, but his best friend isn't.
My buddy, my dog was down there, and he's always crated when I'm not home, and he didn't have a chance.
Miller spent the day clearing out the water, and he wasn't alone. House by house, Washington Street is drying out.
Everything's ruined. Washers, dryers, water heaters.
It took Kyle Palmario 6 sump pumps to finally get the water out of this home.
It was a mess. We didn't know what to do at first. We couldn't touch the water because the electric was still on.
A community on the mend, hoping this flash flood was a flash fluke.
The basement's flooded before, but never like that.
A wild scene at this home on Hillcrest Drive in Macungie. The Lehigh County Humane Society pulling out animal after animal from inside the house, from snakes to exotic birds, pigs, dogs, rabbits, and more.
I've never seen anything like this.
Shelter manager Tisha Jones says the rescue mission took hours. Staff had to enter the home wearing masks and respirators borrowed from firefighters. She describes the conditions inside as deplorable. Urine, feces, and countless animals living on top of one another.
I wasn't able to breathe. Your eyes start to burn, and it gives you pain in your chest, and your throat is burning.
Jones says the situation not only dangerous to the animals, but to the community too.
A constrictor you know, of that size, a 15-foot constrictor, you know, they're small animals that live in the neighborhood, you know, young children. It's very dangerous.
The rescued animals were then taken to the Humane Society, where inventory and medical treatment will begin. The animals' conditions ranging from emaciated to dehydrated. Jones says the Humane Society is looking for help with temporary placement.
We are looking for homes that are skilled and knowledgeable on handling different types of birds, different types of snakes.
This rescue comes just days after the Humane Society took more than 60 beagles from a home in Upper Saucon Township, meaning space inside the shelter is already limited.
It was definitely, again, breeding that got out of control and turned for the worst.